Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews. Got another one here from the Põhjala, Pruulikoda. I believe it's something like that, and of course always excuse the pronunciations. The Northern Realm Brewery from Estonia, from Tallinn, Estonia, I do believe. And this is their Baltic Pride. A Baltic Porter coming in at 12.5% alcohol by volume. Let me just... see, there's the ocean storming the Baltic. And this is a collab with Pinta. Which, honestly, I wish I had Behemoth Storming Near the Baltic vinyl, but I don't, or I'd be playing it right now. So, back when Behemoth was good. Because I don't like their death metal stuff so much. I like their black metal stuff, like Grom. Anywho, into this, we have a big old Baltic Porter, which it's rare, especially in this area, to see a good Baltic Porter at all, let alone a good, a Baltic Porter at all, let alone a good Baltic Porter too. You know what I mean? So this lovely European tradition falling into my hands like this is definitely an unexpected pleasure. This is the second beer I've had from them, which was funny because James from Rampant Lion Beer Reviews, which do follow him because why would you follow me and not him? He's much better at everything he does. He posted a Põhjala beer the same day that I posted one. So I watched his, completely different beer. I think it was a Cowboy Breakfast or something like that. I can't remember exactly the name of the beer. But that's how I knew it was Northern Realm Brewery, because of course he does research on everything. And I don't try to research anything because I don't want to sway my judgment by putting, things in my brain that might make me think this or make me think this. I kind of go into blind, and that's why I do the beer reviews like I do, and then I read tasting those later or whatever and see where I got. Because I don't want to say, this has this in it, and then of course your brain's automatically, oh, I think I can pick that out, which maybe in the blind taste test you wouldn't, if you know what I mean. But yes, the Põhjala Brewery, Põhjala Pruulikoda, and then Pinta. From Tallinn, and I don't know where Pinta's from. Obviously this is a collab with Pinta, and there's the copper right there. So obviously Pinta is also a brewery, but I don't know where Pinta is from, so I do apologize for that. Again, this is something that I've never thought I'd even find. I randomly got told on live chats, you know what I mean, with the English guys, that this is really good, that's really good, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. Yeah, I'll never see that. And then I went down to the Root Cellar outside of Cincinnati, and there we go, $5.99 a bottle. I will tell you, the bottle of the Prime that I had was well worth $5.99 a bottle. Now I was told they only do the 11.2s. They don't do bigger bottles for their Cellar series, I guess, which is a sad thing because I want 750s of all this stuff. I don't know if you can see this, but there is the name of the brewery on the crown in a different little designed block artwork. Let's get it into a glass right here from the Baltic Pride. We're going to use the Ethereal Brewing glass from Lexington, Kentucky. Right here, a little ruby hues, probably a little, definitely lighter than the big old Imperial Stout did. But for 12.5, that's nothing to scoff your nose at. Nice, beautiful chest and strength. Up to the light, a little Dirty Glass Mafia, just I think, unless I'm seeing something. Okay, up to the light, nothing really coming through to the bright light, just a rind of a ruby hue at the pinnacle of the glass. That's about it. We have a khaki colored head and a definite alcohol legs, blankets, sheets, and comforters of alcohol legs from that 12.5 alcohol by volume sticking to the side of the glass. Lacing not so forming it because it's got the sheets of alcohol ripping it off the sides. But overall, it does look a little lovely. I do see some bubbles on the side of the glass here, so I'm assuming that's a little Dirty Glass Mafia. That happens. So let's get an aroma on the Baltic Pride. Cheers. Subtle, something that reminds you of like a raisin cherry, but very subtle. Maybe a hint of a woodiness or black licorice too. Very subtle though. Roasty toasty. A little bit of smokiness. Roasty toasty smoky. A little bit of baker's chocolate. This is not a bombastic beer as far as the nose goes. I'm really, you're pulling to get these aromas. But there is definitely a black fruit, a black cherry kind of tonality coming through this. To be expected with a Baltic Port, of course. Baltic Port is a cold-friend lager, or it's using a lager yeast. So Baltic Port is a lager. So if you don't see it, people can't say you don't like lagers if you like double box of Baltic Porters. But that being said, I'm done smelling it. I've talked way too much. Let's taste it. All right, there we go. Cheers. Listen to some Judas Iscariot again. I was throwing some Dark Throne on, but my poor old vinyl player is doing a little skippy skip now and again with some of the newer vinyls that I have, like the re-releases of Total Death and stuff like that. My picture disc that I have of Under Funeral Moon. So yeah, I had the inspiration to listen to some Dark Throne on the podcast, on the video today, but I did listen to some Transylvania Hunger on the way home in the car, so that was good. Anyway, cheers. I was about to say that's a bit thin. The first part of this beer, the half part, was just straight down, and then you started getting this of coatingness that it was kind of hitting the palate. So you're definitely in the low side, at least medium full to low side full body, with that coating aspect that comes from the back of the palate. But the front of the part of the beer that really just seemed to go down like a drop, and like there's no burn, nothing from that 12.5. That was in that kind of the high side of a medium body, you know what I mean? It's in that realm. At first, I thought I was going to be like, okay, but it's pretty different beer. Let's get more of it. Cheers. A lot of char to this beer. A lot of woody char, smokiness, sitting on the back of the palate, minerality. There's something in there like a burnt caramel, but very subtle, mixing in with that kind of char that comes in. I said there's like a woody burnt char, earthiness, minerality, thins out, just lingers on the palate, and then you get more of that minerality, copper coin kind of tonalities coming through and through from that char. Don't know what I think about this beer yet. Let's get into it more. It's more dark chocolate, a hint of baker's chocolate. There's subtle fruit tones, very subtle, but they're there, but they're very subtle. They're just kind of they're kind of getting cavalcated by all this char, dark chocolate, the hint of baker's chocolate. Like they're getting pushed down. It's in the bowels of what you're trying to taste. Again, I've said it before with some of these beers. Nice burp. This would be a lovely cigar beer. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. A pipe beer, pipe tobacco beer, cigar beer. Because it has a definite reminiscence of good, like smoking good pipe tobacco or a good cigar. Especially pipe tobacco has that beautiful dark fruit kind of tonality, and when the aroma that's coming off of it. It's broody, it's subtle, yet savory. You just kind of want to sip on it. It's not bombastic. You'd think it would be 12.5. It really isn't shouting in my face. It's really charry, yeah. But all these other tonalities are very subtle, very subdued. Those kind of things. And like I said, it's not abrasive. So it would complement what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're drinking, those kind of things, what you're smoking or whatever. I think that's one of those things. These little bottles, man. These little itty bitty witty little tiny bottles. Little tiny bottles. A little bit of soft carbonation in there, giving the beer a little bit of life, and especially in the front of the palate. So it doesn't feel dead. It doesn't feel like stagnant. You know what I mean? It does have a little bit of a zip, a little bit of life to the front of the beer, moves it around your palate a little bit. It's good. This is a good beer. It's just, you know what I mean? Not taking me where I want to be. Like a little bit of something like a plum raisin tonality, black cherry, those dark fruits in the front, char, little dark chocolate into baker's chocolate, moving through, real smooth. Of course, some of it is from the yeast, some of the brewing process, and the others some from some of the alcohol, the ethanol alcohol, giving some of that quaff of that dark fruit. Real nice. No burn. No over apparent ethanol alcohols. No fusel alcohols, anything like that. Very nice. This is all that's left. That's it. In this tiny little glass. Sad. It's a good beer. So it's not bombastic. It's not in your face. It's not doing this. It's not doing this. It's not whipping you in the face with its 12.5. If you know what I mean. It's not laying it on the table and saying, "Look, everyone grab a hold and let's take a ride." It is really nice though. It is extremely nice. It's impressive how amazingly well it hides the ABV. Stupidly impressive. Let's read about it. Let's see what it says. New government warning. Shelton Brothers, I guess they're closing. I don't know if this is true or if they have already closed or whatever, but sad to hear that. Again, another Shelton Brothers product that probably will have a hard time making it over here after this. Baltic Pride. Baltic Porter. 12.5% alcohol by volume. 11.2 fluid ounces. Product of Estonia, brewed and packaged by the Põhjala, Tallinn, Estonia, of course. Served 45 to 54 to 60 degrees, of course. An old world stock Imperial Baltic Porter featuring a blend of fresh bottom fermented Baltic Porter and a mixture, so it's a blended beer, of barrel aged top fermented Baltic Porter. So a top fermented Baltic Porter and a bottom fermented top Baltic Porter and one barrel aged blended together. And you know what? The weirdest thing is, just like especially at the front of this beer review, when I was drinking it, it did have like a separation point where it was like, okay, whoa, where's that other shit coming from? So maybe that is a little bit of the two, variants clashing together in your mouth, the seas ebbing and flowing together on your palate, where there is a little, like an onslaught of nice little, like soft carbonation, this and that, a little bit of caramel chocolate, and that goes away, and then all this charred crazy stuff comes in. So that might be the bottom from the top fermented barrel aged stuff, and it doesn't say barrel aged in anything, just a barrel. So that char makes sense. A lot of woody, oaky char, tannic notes and stuff like that hitting your palate. Yeah, it's weird because it does actually have that kind of definite, like, light switch. What the fuck? There's two different things happening at the same time. The more I drink it, more of that gets blended together. It gets more cohesive, Joe. The more I drink this, the more I like it. And that 12.5% definitely helps, I'm assuming. I say, if you had a 750 of this beer, you could call it, you could dance, trust me. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those kind of beers. For sure. I like that. But, Baltic Pride, Baltic Porter, and I really, Baltic Thunder was a really nice one from Victory. That was aged in red wine barrels. Really enjoyed that one. A bit thin. Not like this. That was a bit thin. But it was still tasty. This is, at first, I was thinking like the 8 region, 8.5 region. But the more I drink it, the more cohesive it is. As I said, it more kind of, you know, I'm kind of coming to grips with everything that's happening. The different nuances, the blending between the fruits that are kind of like undercurrents. You have those kind of tidal waves of dark chocolate mixing with like an underfoot of that baker's chocolate, you know, and then it's dropping off the cliff down through all that big char, you know, and you have to kind of ebb and flow with that between those two little worlds, from the shallow water to the deep water. Did you see did you get the ocean reference? Okay. All right, I'm trying here. Okay. I'm going to give it a... Boy. Kind of want to still... Cheers, by the way. You know, I'm still... It's good. It is good. But it's not... The high notes aren't really, to me, should be really the highest notes. The lowest notes should really be kind of a medium note. If you know what I mean, like, you should get a lot more of that roasty, toasty. You should get that dark fruit. You should get those chocolates. The char should wrap around everything and kind of hold it in place, and being kind of like an undercurrent to everything else. You know what I mean? This is where the char comes as a tidal wave and goes, you know, fuck your town. You know what I mean? And it takes everything else, and everything is under a blanket of that. So, as good as it is good. It is a very good beer. Please pick it up. $5.99 is just fucking stupid. And that might be Kentucky price, since Ohio price rather, because it was right outside Cincinnati before you hit Kentucky. PA would probably be $19.99, because there's a lot of people who jack the prices up to fuck people, because that's what people do. They jack prices up, they price gouge, they fuck people to get money. We know this. It is true. And fuck them for doing it. This, I would give an 8.5 to. 8.5 all day, not a problem. 8.5 out of 10 for the Baltic Pride, Baltic Porter from Põhjala, from Estonia. Really cool to see beers from Estonia. I don't think I've ever had any beers from Estonia. I've had Lithuanian beers. I have never had Hungary beer, and that would be really cool, because I think I think it was James who did a Hungary beer, so that was really awesome. I would love to have some. I have a friend from Hungary, so I'd like to try some more stuff from them. But this has been Paul from PABrewNews. It's gone, but cheers nonetheless. Catch you on the next one. Watch that finger. Here it goes. Bye-bye.